Some people, after breaking up, want to get back together and end up making the same mistakes all over again. Once again, they break up for exactly the same reasons. The same patterns of behavior repeat themselves, just like before. They break up, get back together, break up, get back together, and so on endlessly, forever. And what's even worse is when children witness all of this. Children follow that example. Naturally, they will end up copying similar behavior in the future. And, as a result, your grandchildren will, or could, suffer in the same way if this pattern isn't broken. What mistake do most people make? They don't try to understand their partner's emotional needs. They don't try to understand their partner's interests. Where do these interests come from? Why does this person want things this way? This is the most fundamental mistake. If you know your partner's emotional needs and understand what words, actions, or behaviors can fulfill those needs, your partner won't want to leave you. And if they do leave, they won't go far. This is one of the reasons you need to keep in mind when interacting with your partner. What difficulties might arise here? Even when you know all this, you understand everything, you get together with this person, you meet their needs, but sometimes you'll still slip back into the same patterns you've inherited or developed over your life, maybe from your parents, from society, or from someone else. You might fall back on these patterns of reacting in certain situations, whether they're crisis moments or even just ordinary situations. For example, when there's some kind of trigger, someone says something to you in a way you didn't expect, and you react to that trigger the way you're used to. That reactivity just explodes out of you, and that's it. And then maybe 20 or 30 minutes later, you start to process what happened, but by then, the other person is already packing up and leaving. Or they're upset. Basically, you end up in yet another emotional dead end. So here, too, it's important to understand what to do with these patterns. So, this is the second thing you need to know when you're in a relationship or before starting one. I still say it's better to take preventive measures. If you've already entered a relationship, for example, it's better to work through things by imagining your partner, even if it feels blasphemous, as if they're with someone else, even having sex with them, for instance. That's one. Second, you can imagine that they're with someone else, and they're happy with that other person, and they're happy. That's it. You need to work through your reaction. A relationship shouldn't be built on the fear of losing someone. If there's a fear of losing, then there's emotional enmeshment. If there's emotional enmeshment, then you have emotional needs that are keeping you attached to this person. Okay, if this is a good person, they're not going anywhere, they're not planning to leave, and they intend to take care of you. Everything is just great. But if this person is toxic, someone who might insult you, ignore you, in other words, not meet your needs, to put it simply, then it's those same emotional needs that keep you with them, the ones that tell you, what if you never find someone like this again? At least someone like this. What if the next one is even worse? These are emotional needs. They control your fears. Anyway, I ended up talking about needs again, but you need to understand this. This is actually the most important thing there is. But there's also not knowing how to behave as a woman, as a man, how to work on harmonizing, probably, resources, and how to transfer resources from one to another. Just in the past 2 days, I've come across situations where people don't express gratitude the way their partner would like. This leads to such disagreements that a person starts to wonder, do I even need this relationship? Not like that. I mean, maybe you did express gratitude. Look at yourself, for example. I'm not telling you this to make you feel even more guilty than you already do, especially if you've recently broken up, but just for your future experience and for your information. Guilt doesn't change anything in the past. If you can change your breakfast today with the help of guilt, congratulations. You'd be the first person in the world who knows how to do that. If you can't do that, then there's no need to use guilt at all. Just draw a conclusion about what you did wrong, and that's more than enough. About guilt. So, it's not enough just to say thank you. You need to know how to express gratitude. In other words, everyone has their own way of perceiving things, how they want to be thanked for what they've done. Does this person even need it at all? If they do, then how? There aren't just obvious signs, like when someone directly says, "Well, where's my thank you?" There are also hidden signs that show up during conflicts. When someone might say, "You're ungrateful," you should immediately make a mental note. Wait, what's going on here? I wonder what I'm doing wrong. How am I behaving incorrectly? For example, just because you feed the person, or have sex with them, or greet them in some special way, that's not what this is about. He or she is saying this, that you're ungrateful, that you're a jerk, or something like that. You need to pay attention, to really look at the actual content, not just the form. How should you thank a person? Thank you. Or you could throw your arms around their neck and shower them with kisses, or pick them up and say, "That was magical." Of course, there are cases, and there are many like this, when a person was grateful, did everything, fulfilled all the needs, but was still crushed. Those boundaries were suppressed, turned inward, basically inside themselves. The other person allowed themselves too much, ended up devaluing you. There are a lot of cases like that. When there was a good person, a good guy or a good woman, a girl, and just because they were too nice, someone would go, "Hey, can I move your flags a bit? Can I push your boundaries a little more? And a little more? And a little more? You're a good person. Just move them a bit more." And so they pushed you back and trampled all over you a little. No, it's not that he's the fool, it's you. You're the one who moved yourself. You allowed your own boundaries to be pushed. It shouldn't be a defense. It should come from within you, from your inner self, as a whole I. That wholeness, or at least something close to it, won't let anyone take even a single step across that boundary. The boundary here is already in quotation marks, because in reality, there aren't really any boundaries. It's just a mental construct, a thought form. These boundaries are a creation of the mind. So there's no need to obsess over them. How do you defend your boundaries? How do you bring yourself back to wholeness? I'm really good at developing procedures and methods that can help people get rid of this or that, or acquire something, or enter the state or that one. I'm not good at selling, but the course we're running right now is honestly really great, top-notch. Right now, we're enrolling for this course. Right now, actually. And I think the launch starts on the 13th. That's when the first module will begin. And a week later, the second module starts. It's the full paid course. Honestly, it's a really great course. It's truly, well, you could call it top, because it covers working through needs and response patterns. Yes, you'll really have to do all this. You'll need to put in the work. This course is for women only. Just to warn you again, it's only for women. I'm not good at selling things. But seriously, in case you didn't hear me, I know a lot of other courses that honestly don't even come close to this one. Because here, you're getting my expertise, plus that of another specialist and yet another specialist. Here, we're giving it our all, 100%. Yes, sometimes there are some delays with timing, but we deliver everything in full. И времени для проработки и все остальное. The links to sign up for this course are below the video. If you heard me, good for you. Не услышали ваш вопрос. I'm being totally honest. This is powerful, just pure power. You don't have to believe me, just trust. Those who have gone through the Breakup Recovery course know, it's all based on trust. Do you trust me enough to have faith? You don't have to believe in me, just trust up to the point of faith, that's all. After that, see for yourself. Did I just say something ridiculous, or is this really the real deal? So, it's up to you to decide. But I strongly recommend, really, I urge you, to follow the link and sign up for the course. Of course, only if the terms work for you, naturally, because everyone's circumstances are different. That's it, go for it. Basically, I've shared the information. You can already start learning about your partners, Whether it's for the future or your current relationship, it doesn't matter, even without the course. By the way, anyone can sign up for the course. Those who are already in a relationship, those who are about to start one, those who are thinking about relationships, or even those who aren't thinking about them at all. You can work through the first part of the course, even if you're sick of relationships, feel like you want to throw up, or you've just gotten over the pain caused by a relationship, you can join this group too. The first part of the course is focused on working through these issues. That's it. We only have a week left to sign up. Well, actually, about 10 days. If you make it in time, great. If not, the next one will only be in 3 months. Goodbye, everyone.